The pulley for the 2-cylinder, as you can see there, it has a D-shaped hole. It's a real thin thickness in the center of it. Actually, this is 2 pieces of pressed metal spot welded together. Flywheel itself, it has a corresponding flat area on this mounting tab. That is all that holds the pulley affixed to the engine. It was a very good idea on the washing machine. The pulley would go on like so. The thick washer, that was a special washer for Maytag. It's just a thick machine washer. The retaining nut. This particular one, as you can see, the crankshaft most likely was battered. It don't protrude enough. Most likely it was battered on the end and someone ground it down to get it back to a size they could work with. A lock washer, this one would not have room for one. This would go on there, tighten up, and that's the way a pulley is installed on a 2-cylinder Maytag. You just don't have a lot of room there to work with. Replacement pulleys can be found as of not to render your engine inoperable. By all means, secure yourself and then that would be tightened appropriately. Y'all know I've been trying to kind of save this right here to last. It's the flywheel. It does have damage. It's got some damage right yonder, a little nick out. And if you look at that circle around through there, it's got a little flat place right there and a little flat place up there. We'll see what we got once we get it cleaned up. See, that magnet in there looks pretty good and clean. It's got a lot of pull to it. Interesting tidbit. You see these 3 reinforcement ribs right here? This one has 3. You will find them, such as this one, of those reinforcement ribs. And they're not even. The distance between here and here is less than it is over here. Yeah, it makes you wonder why. Yeah, I just use whatever cleaner you think is appropriate. I will bring to your attention this shiny place right here. You see where that shiny place is? That means that this flywheel has been rubbing the backing plate at some point in time. So that could possibly be part of where the damage is not. Well, actually there is a little flat place right down there corresponding to that flat place. So this flywheel may be warped. I'm going to clean it up and then we'll put it on the engine and maybe even put the dial indicator on it to see how bad out around it is. But I am going to have to work it with a file all the way around. And if you remember on the get-go, I made a comment as to the damage on the inside diameter of this flywheel, and it's a lot. I mean, this flywheel has been beat a lot on this side. Also out here on the outer rim, it shows where it has had some, I'm going to assume it was hammer blows because this engine was assembled. Had it been a disassembled engine, I could have thought it where it would have been thrown around in the parts bin, but it was a complete engine, so I'm going to assume that this was on this engine and that's just been beat up with a hammer. So I'll work all that down with a file. Do y'all see these? As I go with this file, do you see them high places? That's where the hammer blows was at. Now I'm not going to be able to work them all down, but we'll make an improvement. All of these dark places around through here, that's where the hammer blows was. And even on this, and you use the biggest file that you got that will reach all the way across it so that you're filing both sides at one time, and then you rotate it as you go, and that way you will end up with a fairly straight across using the same pressure on both sides.